am so excited to announce that we have a new version of Naviate Architecture for 2023, 2024, and 2025 Revit versions. We have some exciting new features as well as improvements to some of our most used existing features in Naviate Architecture. You can read more about these improvements in our release news on naviate.com. You can read about all of the new features, the feature improvements, and any bug fixes released. Let's dive into those new feature and feature improvements for this latest Naviate Architecture release. We have a new feature, the Pattern Creator. With this feature, you can create patterns using custom designs made with detail lines or model lines. And these patterns can be saved for future use, or you can export or import existing or new .pat files to apply them to any project. This feature is located within the detailing group of Naviate Architecture right next to the existing pattern editor. First, you will need to select the lines or detail lines that you want to create a pattern for. So here I've created a pattern. I can simply select those lines in my view, come to my pattern creator, and it'll prompt me to set up the settings. I can choose if I want it to be a detail pattern or model pattern. It will capture the view scale. I can indicate a scale multiplier, a rotation, a flip, and a unit. I can also specify if I want it to create a filled region from this pattern, and afterwards it will automatically place that filled region in the active view. I am in a drafting view, but you can be making this pattern in any Revit view. I'll go ahead and name my pattern and simply hit apply. Once there, you'll notice at the bottom of your Revit screen instructions on what to do. It'll tell you to pick the bottom left and then the top right. There you have it. It created our pattern, and we can see that pattern here in the filled region that it generated. If I run the command without pre-selecting the pattern, this will allow me to either export or import existing pattern files. So I can select from any existing patterns and choose to export it or import any patterns that are saved outside of Revit. And that is our new Pattern Creator feature in Naviate Architecture. We have a brand new feature, Curtain Wall Elevations, located within the Wall Tools of Naviate Architecture. This feature is going to allow you to create curtain wall elevations as section views for one or multiple selected curtain walls. It will also add dimensions to your curtain grids. I could run it one of two ways. Either I can pre-select the curtain walls, or I can select the command and then select the curtain walls. We can select the command from the main toolbar. It will put us in pick mode, where we can then select one or multiple curtain walls within our view. Then click Finish, and you'll be prompted to set up your settings. You can select a view type and template, a style for your dimensions, an offset for the dimensions, and a placement, whether it's the top or the bottom, and left or right. I'll do top and left. Once everything is set up, you can save these settings and create your curtain wall elevations. It's that easy. Here we can see our curtain wall elevations created with our dimensions of the overall wall and the curtain grids. And that's our new feature, Curtain Wall Elevation. In the room drawing feature, we have two major improvements. One of which is the ability to select and place reference callouts on main views, as well as being able to select a template sheet to match all new sheets created for your room drawings. Let's take a look at the room drawings feature. We can see that the UI has been updated to accommodate these improvements. As we know, in the previous release, we are able to pre-select the rooms that we want to create room drawings for. We can then run the room drawings command and see those rooms selected in the user interface. Let's take a look at the new improvements in this latest release. The UI has been updated, and now for both floor plans and ceiling plans, we have a new option where we can select a plan which will place a reference callout of the views being created. So here I'm going to select a floor plan to place callouts for my floor plan and a ceiling plan to place callouts for the ceiling plans being created. I can then choose to create sheets, which is the next improvement, and we either have the option to create new sheets, which will work as it did previously, or now we have the option to match a template sheet. I can choose from any sheet in my project as my template sheet, and we'll get a preview of the sheet. Now, this template sheet actually doesn't have any ceiling plans on it. If there is a category that isn't included in the template sheets, the views will still be created, but they simply won't be placed on the sheet. In this case, that is exactly what I want. I can then run the command same as I did before. And in this case, when the sheet is created, it will utilize that template sheet to place the views in the same location and include any legends, schedules, or symbols that was on the template sheet in the new sheets being created. For reference, this was the template sheet that I had with my elevation views, floor plan, axon, and legends. Let's first look at the first improvement for the reference callouts. We can see that the references for the 3 new floor plans for my room drawing features were placed on this view. Now I can go ahead and look at the second improvement, which is the creation of the new sheets based off of the template sheets. Remember, this was my template sheet, and we can see the new room drawing sheet created, and it matches that template sheet. Those were the 2 main improvements to the room drawings feature. We have 2 improvements to the zone views feature. One is improved zone view placement by merging zones according to a tolerance unit. This tolerance is 800 millimeters, which is approximately 31.5 inches. So now zones with small spaces between them will be merged based on that tolerance value when the NV-ignore area parameter is selected. We can see in my floor plan here, I actually have gaps in my walls in this area. Previously, when creating zone views, it will create cutouts of these gaps. If I wanted to not have a cutout, I can simply select these walls and check on the NV-ignore in areas parameter so that this will be included in that zone view. We'll see what happens with this one where I checked it on, and these 2 areas where I haven't checked that parameter on. Now we can go to Naviate Architecture and select to create our zone views based on our department. And we can see here what happened. You can see the outline of that crop region created for my zone views. In this area where I didn't have that parameter checked on, it did not include this gap in that crop region. But in this area where I did check it on, you can see that it was included and it wasn't cropped out by that crop region. The second improvement is with creating zone views based on a rotated scope box. Previously, when I had a scope box that was rotating the views, the zone views would not have the same rotation. Now we can see when I create my zone views, they will inherit the same rotation as the main view that has the rotated scope box. You can see here that all of my dependent views that were created with the zone views have the same rotation as that parent view now. All selection-based features from Naviate Architecture are now available in the Modify ribbon. Now, when I select a wall, I can see all the Naviate Architecture selection-based wall features. If I select a room, I can see all room and zone-based features available in the Naviate Modify ribbon. And if I select a detail or model line, I can see the Pattern Creator, which is our new feature, also available in the Naviate Modify ribbon. Those are all the new features and improvements to our existing features for Naviate Architecture's latest release. Again, this is available for 2023, 2024, and 2025 Revit versions. We saw the new Pattern Creator, the new curtain wall elevations feature, the improvements to room drawings, zone views, and the Modify ribbon. And that concludes all of the improvements and new features for Naviate Architecture.